What's good? Welcome back to JDB Selects. Here are the team lists for Round 2 of the 2023 NRL Pre-Season Challenge. First up, the Knights v Eels at Industry Group Stadium, Gosford. For the match against Parramatta, Adam O'Brien has picked an almost full-strength squad. After overcoming a calf issue, skipper Callum Ponga will start at 5/8 alongside Jackson Hastings. Lachlan Miller makes his club debut at fullback, while veteran back rower Adam Elliott comes off the bench for the first time in red and blue. England wingers Dom Young and Tyson Frizell make their first appearances of the season. And for the Eels, Clint Gutherson, Will Penasini, Dylan Brown, Mitch Moses, Reagan Campbell-Gillard, and Junior Paolo are among the players who will take the field for the first time this season. Sean Russell moves to the wing following a great performance at fullback last week. Jermaine Hopgood and Jack Murphy, two new arrivals, put on a para shirt for the first time. Wacker Blake, Bryce Cartwright, and Hayes Dunster should all be available for selection in Round 1. Roosters v Sea Eagles at Industry Group Stadium, Gosford. For the Roosters, World Cup winner James Tedesco leads a slew of renowned stars, including Joseph Suaalii, Daniel Tupou, Lindsay Collins, and Nat Butcher, in their first game of 2023. Former Bulldog Corey Allen makes his club debut in the centres, while Drew Hutchison and Sam Walker make their halves debuts. Luke Keary, the team's top playmaker, will miss the season opener against the Dolphins on March 5th. And for Manly, Josh Schuster gets his first shot at the 5/8 spot he intends to claim in 2023. Cooper Johns will start at halfback, while Daly Cherry Evans will be rested in Round 1. World Cup winner Jake Tebojevic will captain the team in their opening match of the season, while Haumole Olakoatu, Kelma Tuilagi, and Sean Kepi are all available. After a good performance in the number 1 last week, impressive fullback Jake Toby drops to the bench. Dragons v Rabbitohs at Glen Willow Oval, Mudgee. For the Dragons, Tyrrell Sloan, who played for the Indigenous All-Stars last week, takes over at fullback. Moses Mbee transfers to number 6, while captain Ben Hunt begins his 2023 season at halfback. Former Tiger Zane Musgrove will make his Dragons debut, while back rower Jaden Su'A returns after resting last week. While Josh Kerr returns from All-Stars action, veteran prop Aaron Woods, utility Jaden Sullivan, and forwards Francis and Michael Molo all make their season debuts. And for Souths, superstars Cameron Murray, hooker Damien Cook, winger Alex Johnston, centre Campbell Graham, halfback Lachlan Ilias, prop Tom Burgess, and back rowers Jai Arrow and Keon Kola-Amatangi have all been picked to line up in Mudgee. Coach Jason Demetriou is putting together a solid lineup, which features Blake Taaffe in the number 14 utility role, which he appears to be filling come Round 1. Broncos v Cowboys at Sunshine Coast Stadium, Sunshine Coast. For the Broncos, Selwyn Cobbo, the hat-trick hero of the Indigenous All-Stars, takes over at fullback for the injured Reece Walsh. Former Tiger Jock Madden has been named on the extended bench, along with skipper Adam Reynolds, winger Corey Oates, back rower Kurt Capewell, and Kangaroos prop Pat Carrigan. Jordan Reiki returns from Maury All-Stars training to take his place in the second row. And for the Cowboys, the Telstra Premiership campaign begins with a full dress rehearsal, with 12 of the starting 13 from last year's preliminary final against the Eels nominated to play this week. Tom Gilbert, who has joined the Dolphins, is the lone player who is not present. Cohen Hess has been added to the starting lineup. Recruits James Tamu and Jack Gojewski will have another chance to prove their worth to Todd Payton in the season opener against the Raiders on March 4th. Warriors v Storm at Orange Theory Stadium, Christchurch. For the Warriors, coach Andrew Webster has named newcomers Chancer Nickel Klokstad, Mitch Barnett, Marita Niakari, and Dylan Walker for their opening matches of the season. Barnett will start at prop with Aden Fanua-Blake in the starting lineup. Sean Johnson returns to start in the halves alongside Tay Mayer Martin, while Luke Metcalf joins an extended interchange bench. And for the Storm, the big guns Cameron Munster, Jarome Hughes, and Harry Grant make their season debuts. Prop Christian Welch put some miles in his legs in his return from an Achilles injury last week, and he'll line up in a pack that includes Kiwi behemoth Nelson Asofa Solomona in his debut outing. Ryan Papenhuisen is anticipated to miss the first 6 to 8 weeks of the NRL season, therefore Nick Meaney will take over at fullback. Tariq Sims is still a few weeks away, and Xavier Coates is placed on an extended bench as he recovers from a hamstring injury. Tigers v Raiders at Belmore Sports Ground, Sydney. For the Tigers, the big guns Dane Laurie, David Nofoaluma, Ken Mormalo, Adam Duauhi, David Clemmer, Isaiah Papali'i, and Alex Twile make their debuts, but new skipper Api Karoisai is still wrapped in cotton wool. Luke Brooks, the team's leading playmaker, is still recovering from a calf injury and will not play this week. Charlie Staines has been placed on interchange, as has Fanua Pole. And for the Raiders, Jordan Rapana replaces Xavier Savage at fullback, while Jack Whiten and Jamal Fogarty will play in the halves. Jared Croker is replaced in the centres by Seb Chris and Matt Timoko. Forward leader Josh Papali'i makes his debut, joining new acquisition Danny Levi at hooker and Emre Gula in the front row. After being held back last week, back rowers Hudson Young and Elliot Whitehead are ready to go, and Joseph Tapini returns from Maury All-Stars camp to kick off his Raiders season. Bulldogs v Sharks at Belmore Sports Ground, Sydney. For the Dogs, World Cup stars Josh Adokar and Matt Burton start their first game of the season, and Hazy Perham will wear the number 1 shirt. William Kikau, a star recruit, joins Tevita Pangai in a powerful pack that also features Luke Thompson at lock and Reid Mahoney at hooker. Josh Reynolds, a favourite son, joins recruits Ryan Sutton and Andrew Davey on the bench. And for the Sharks, Craig Fitzgibbon has named all of his players for the club's final game against the Bulldogs, including Nicker Hines and Matt Moylan in the halves and Will Kennedy in the back row. Teg Wilton will start, with Wade Graham joining Cameron McInnes and newcomer Oregon Kaufusi on the bench. Braden Hamlin-Ewell of Samoa, who had his World Cup cut short due to a calf injury, will make his return from the bench. And finally, Dolphins v Titans at KO Stadium, Redcliffe. For Wayne Bennett's Dolphins, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow is back at fullback for the NRL newcomers after recovering from an ankle injury. Brenko Lee returns to the lineup, joining Tessie Niu in the centres. Former Panther Sean O'Sullivan takes over at halfback, while skipper Jesse Bromwich, hooker Jeremy Marshall-King, prop Mark Nichols, back rowers Felice Kaufusi and Kenny Bromwich, and lock Tom Gilbert make their round 1 debuts. And for the Titans, Kieran Foran, the veteran playmaker, makes his Titans debut in the halves alongside Tanner Boyd. Because AJ Brimson is back at fullback, Jaden Campbell moves to the bench utility role. Former Rooster Sam Verrills makes his club debut at hooker, while skipper Tino Fasuamaliaui and Moaki Fotuaika have their first runs of the season. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Catch ya in the next.